Hey everyone, this is a free preview of what we plan on doing for Patreon and YouTube members this season. Becoming a member will give you full access to all of our future film breakdowns, and your support really does help us cover the team and make all of this possible. So thank you and go Cavs. Welcome to the Junkyard Pod. I'm Tony Pesta, joined by Jackson Flickinger, and we're trying something a little bit new. We tried this, I think, one time in the playoffs, and it didn't work that well because screen sharing, the internet was an issue. Now, the internet shouldn't be an issue, but our setup is a little, janky. So bear with us. We're making this happen. But the idea here is, every time we're in the arena to record, we're going to do a little film breakdown of the previous game. Maybe even, if they play multiple away games, we'll pull clips for multiple games, just look at certain trends and things. And so let's just get right into it. The clips that I pulled here today are all from the Brooklyn game. There's a couple different trends that we'll be looking at. Starting off, it's going to be Jarrett Allen, because there's been so much talk about how do we get Jarrett Allen involved? Does he need to be more aggressive? Do the Cavs have to get him involved? We're going to look at a few clips here. Now, this first one is going to be a great example of Jarrett Allen making himself available, right? So you're going to see him. He steals his man. They look for him. It's going to run a replay here so you get to see it and chime in. But one thing that you can do if you're Jarrett Allen and you're 6'11", you're a big dude, 7 foot with the afro, right? If you're not getting the ball, you feel like you're not involved. What can you do, Jackson? I mean, what are you seeing right here?
What I'm seeing here is this play is made possible because of Sam. Because you can't, seriously,
Well, yeah,
you can't.
It's a great pass from Sam.
So, it's a good pass from Sam, but also
and the
you
defense
can't.
Is coming
you
up.
can't I don't know how Cam Thomas got way behind on this play, but because Cam Thomas is behind the play, the guy right here, the center, should be stepping up here to kind of block that entry pass, or at least keep that pass from Mobley, do something, but he can't really do that. He has to kind of stand there in case Sam does something. And Jarrett does a really good job of completely sealing his man. I don't know,
like
just
Michael Porter Jr.
completely getting bodied.
Yeah.
So usually you shouldn't be able to make entry passes from one wing to the opposite block.
The opposite block, yeah.
That's generally not how they teach you, in practice. They don't have any time in practice let's make entry passes to the opposite block. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
But because of, Sam's shooting ability, the Nets' poor defense, Michael Porter Jr.'s unwillingness to play defense, and Jarrett Allen's aggressiveness, it's made possible.
It's a great point, and I honestly hadn't even considered how the play started. The main thing that I was looking at, and that, like I said, really good point. I'm glad that you mentioned that. But from the perspective of keeping Allen aggressive, if you're not getting the ball, there's really no excuse as a guy who's Jarrett Allen's size. You can get a few plays like this throughout the game where you just play big, seal your man, put your hand up. The Cavs have a lot of unselfish guys. They're going to get you the ball. So if you play big like that, we'll see him, just seal his man. Bad defense from the Nets. We'll see that throughout these clips, but that's one easy way for Allen to get a bucket. Second one right here, we're going to see, this was probably the highlight of the night. Another way where, if you're Jarrett Allen, look at how high up the defense is playing him right now. And you have some off-ball action going
Probably
on.
Shouldn't be that high up.
no good reason
no
to be
reason
at half
to be
court pressuring the ball against Jarrett Allen.
The Cavs, he's tied Jerome.
Honestly, they saw him, they learned that he's taking threes this year from the preseason, so that the scouting report is out. But on the side action here, we see Lonzo setting a screen for Donovan Mitchell, and that's going to keep these two defenders on the Nets occupied. Whereas Allen, he's got the speed, he's got the athleticism. If you're playing him this high up, just rip through and go to the rim, right? And so we're going to see that right here. It's the highlight of the night, as I mentioned. Just rips right through, takes all the way, dunks all over everybody. And you also had Dean Wade in the other corner.
That is some bad defense, honestly. They're not the other side. One side of the court has Lonzo and Donovan on it, so it's
you gotta pay attention there.
However, the other side has Dean Wade and Craig Porter Jr. as if he's James, as if
prime Klay Thompson.
well, as if Jarrett Allen is prime James Harden, just gonna rip a pass. Left-handed to that corner. So, some bad defense. But what we want to highlight is Jarrett Allen's a good basketball player. Yeah. He's really quick on his feet, and he does have a decent dribble when given the opportunity to kind of showcase that. And I think that this all goes back to Jarrett Allen's aggressiveness. When he's aggressive, he can do things like this.
Exactly. He's genuinely one of, I'm not going to put a number to it, but there's not many centers his size who have that athleticism and ball control to actually take a guy off the dribble from half court. It's not, you're not going to see him being Giannis on a nightly basis, but he's capable of doing stuff like that. Right here again, we're going to see, so two things that I want to point out here. I'm highlighting Lonzo Ball because he's actually making a very smart cut through the middle of the floor that's going to take his defender, I believe that's Zaire Williams, out of the play. And then Allen right here, he already set the high ball screen for Mitchell. He's just going to roll hard to the rim and get an easy look here. And then, it's good ball movement from the Cavs, good spacing. You see his defender has to go up to Lonzo, leaves Jarrett Allen wide open. And this is kind of what we talk about. Here's a replay of it too. Yes, Jarrett Allen has to be assertive and the Cavs have to look for him. But when Jarrett Allen's assertive, it actually makes it easier for the Cavs to look for him. Because, it's not a bone-crushing screen or anything, but just good ball movement. He's playing with a purpose.
I don't think he touched anybody on the screen. But
again, the Nets defense isn't ideal. But if you make yourself available, the Cavs have guys who will look for him. This isn't like they're icing him out because they don't want to give Allen the ball. It's just you got to get open.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't want to oversell it. Allen's not like sprinting to the rim. Yeah. He's not like crashing super hard. But he's kind of like a receiver who's seeing like, the opponent's in a zone. I'm going to sit in the soft spot of the zone. And like Allen's just kind of floating through the soft spot of this terrible defense, honestly. And just finding it was a good cut by Lonzo, but just finding the open spot and just kind of like making himself available. And like, this is not based on this pause. It's not an exceptional pass from Mitchell, but when you're Allen and you have that much space, he's gonna make it work.
Yeah, just go up there and get it. And we'll see if he finishes the play. Next clip, let me see. Okay, so this is just another easy way that the Cavs, are able to get Allen involved. You're going to see Spain pick and roll, screen the screener. Allen is setting the ball screen for Lonzo. Sam Merrill is setting up to set a back screen for Jarrett Allen. Now, again, the Nets don't play this all that well. Actually, if I remember correctly, I believe Zaire Williams actually almost picks off this pass, reading it the right way. But point is, when you have a shooter like Sam Merrill, who in this game hit 6 threes, this is an easy way to get Allen a roll to the rim. We're going to see a good delivery from Lonzo. I'll go ahead and press play. And just good stuff that the Cavs can do. Little wrinkles.
You do have good shooters in the corners as well, which helps.
Yep. Larry and Wade out there. And it's a good catch and spin from Allen, right? Like, he is a guy who can get creative with the ball. He almost turns it over, catches it, spins right into a dunk. That's just good, aggressive stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. And once again, taking advantage of a defense that doesn't really know what they're supposed to be doing. It's either you come down from the corner and you actually provide help, or you stay in the corner and stay on your man. The Nets sort of did neither and came coming late help against a big like Jarrett Allen when you don't have the size is no help at all. And that's another advantage that Allen has is when you have that size, the defense has to be really precise in how they handle how they defend those.
Exactly. So we have 2 more clips, I believe, and they're 2 of the same things that we kind of already talked about, so we can hit them quick. Again, you're going to see Allen. This time he's operating a dribble handoff with Sam Merrill. He's that shooting threat. Watch Nick Claxton here in the slow motion because he's preoccupied with where Sam Merrill's going to come up. And so you're going to see him turn his head just a little bit, and as soon as he does, Allen rips through and goes to the rim. Looks at Sam for a second, boom, he's gone. And again, the dunk got a little lucky that it went in, but that's just a good aggressive move right there.
Yeah.
And then again, same thing that we talked about in the first play. If you're Jarrett Allen, you want to get the ball, go make yourself available. Terrence Mann's not a small dude, but he's smaller than Jarrett Allen. Now, I would like to see him go towards the basket on the hook.
Yeah.
He did kind of get softened up at the end, but that's just getting some touches, right? Go seal your man. The Cavs will look for you. I don't love the finish, and he obviously missed, but I do like the seal and calling for the ball.
Yeah, I like the seal and calling for the ball. That's not like the highest percentage play there from Jarrett. Like, that's not, a post hook is not really Jarrett's bread and butter. I don't really want to see him
not
doing
from that
a lot.
far out for sure. If he's 2 feet and restricted, sure. And that's almost the semicircle.
Yeah, I like him trying that, and I know the Cavs were making a concerted effort to get him the ball. And if you look at the score, it's 83-61. So it's not exactly at this point in the game. It's amazing that the Cavs did somehow almost blow this. But yeah, like at this point in the game, you're just trying to get your guy touches, and Jarrett Allen's making himself available, and Sam is also making himself available and wide open. So
ready to go.
So right. just one of the things that it's good to see. Like to see Jarrett Allen probably handle that just a little differently, have a little more patience there. It's one of the things that Kenny Atkinson has talked about before is that he wants his bigs to play with like 2 feet on the ground, meaning like see what's happening, assess your situation, and go from there. If you go back a little bit, does he have Sam open a little bit, or because Tyson crashes really hard, which also kind of changes things.
About Tyson.
So yeah, so like here. Maybe the pass to Merrill's there.
They're all kind of standing
and
on top of each other.
If he does pass this, and it's maybe should have recognized the help. Tyson crashing does sort of make this more of a cluster than it needs to be. So maybe if Tyson doesn't crash, maybe this is a little easier shot. So I don't want to be too hard on Jarrett. But just some of the things to consider is that just because you have an advantage like this in the post, and we see how he does get pushed out a little bit, this could be an advantage that could be spread elsewhere, because if you get the ball swinging, swings to Sam, swings to Evan during rotation, you could end up with an easier, look that way as well.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And we have a couple clips towards the end where we're going to not pick on Tyson, but we're just pointing out where the Cavs offense has been a little clunky. I do have 2 clips before that of Donovan Mitchell. Very simple stuff. It's just 2 different Iverson cuts. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit so we get to the Mitchell stuff. Just 2 different Iverson cuts where Mitchell's coming off the ball, cutting diagonally. Jarrett sets a pretty good screen, good enough to get Mitchell's defender chasing, and that's all he needs as an advantage. You're going to see the replay right here. Mitchell, with this speed, with this athleticism, he just cuts across the floor with Allen stepping in to get in the way. He's going to catch it with a half-step advantage, and that's all a player like Mitchell needs.
Yeah, I mean, just small advantages. I mean, he can score without advantages, so just giving him just a little bit. That's one of the things that Jarrett usually does a good job with.
Yep, right here we're going to see the same thing. I mentioned this exact play on the podcast recently, so if you saw that episode, you already know what I'm talking about. But same idea. This time it's going to be Larry Nance Jr. setting up to hit the screen. Now, he makes very late contact. It's not a great screen by any means, but just getting Mitchell going horizontal gets his defender. Inherently, he's going to be chasing, right? And he also is looking at Lonzo for some reason. I don't know what the defense is doing. He gets caught up on his own man, and it's another 3 for Mitchell. Here's a different angle of it.
Yeah, just kind of. You would like to see them. It's almost like that was a late reaction from Larry Nance almost. But anyways, just small advantages. That's all you need. And you like to see Donovan moving without the ball, because that's something that we've talked about before, that we'd like to see him moving more without the ball, and especially when Darius isn't out there.
Exactly. Just makes life so much easier. He doesn't have to worry about beating a press or bringing it all the way up. Less wear and tear throughout the season. It's just good, quick hitting stuff. Now, got a couple clips on the spacing, and then we'll wrap up. Just throughout these clips, pay attention to where Jalen Tyson is. And it's not meant to pick on Tyson, but they're putting him in the dunker spot.
But that's fine.
Well, he's spending a lot of time in the paint. And ultimately, Mobley ends up scoring here. But look at how many guys he has to go through with Tyson down there. You're going to see another example of it right here. Tyson's just sitting in the dunker spot. And I don't really love this positioning for him, right? I know that the catch and shoot stuff has been a little hit or miss. He's shooting the ball pretty decently well, if I recall. But in the dunker spot, Jalen Tyson, he's not a lob threat. So, he's not a guy who you're really going to be throwing. He's not a vertical threat. The defense isn't really too concerned with him getting behind them. He's an okay finisher, but he's just a hard target to get the ball to in that zone. And then if you're looking at it from the perspective of getting offensive rebounds, I think he'd have a better chance of crashing either from the wing or the elbow on these plays. And so Cavs offense is still generating some decent looks, but having Tyson in that dunker spot is just clogging things up a little bit and stopping them from getting into the paint.
Yeah, he's not somebody who's just moving people off the ball with offensive rebounds. He's more so somebody who has a good nose for the ball, and he's really good at crashing. So yeah, I don't really know. He is sort of just kind of in the way, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. He's in the Ben Simmons spot. When you don't want to be in the Ben Simmons spot.
Exactly. I believe this might be the last clip here. This time it's Allen in the dunker spot instead of Tyson, and Allen makes more sense in that zone. It is still
he can dunk.
Because he can dunk.
Yeah.
You can throw, you can lob it up to him. The defense can't really ignore him the same way they can Tyson. He's also better at getting offensive rebounds, which is point of emphasis. They want him to do it.
Better at getting offensive rebounds when you're standing by the basket.
Oh yeah, in that specific context, yes. And on this play, there's 2 things I want to look at. One, Allen being down there does clog it up. I also think Mobley has enough space to go up with the shot here.
Well, it does clog it up, but he's getting 2 guys on him. So if Mobley throws this to Dean, and Donovan's pointing, hey, Dean, Dean's open, throw it to Dean. This is an easy catch and shoot 3 for Dean.
Well, you may have predicted it, because that's exactly what Mobley does.
Oh, yes.
Kicks it right out to Wade. I believe he misses it. So again, the offense is still, he does shoot it. He does shoot it, which is big. The offense is still getting good looks.
Got the offensive rebound. There you go.
And I believe Allen scored on that. So spacing isn't great, but Mobley making a good read. I do think, and if Allen was out of the paint, obviously that's Mobley has to go up right away. And I also think he could have taken that shot even with Claxton lurking down there. It's kind of a, it is an interesting discussion. It's like, do you want Evan Mobley being the guy and taking that shot, or deferring to a Dean Wade? It's kind of a LeBron question, but with Mobley this time.
I mean, I think you would.
But it's a great shot.
I find with Dean Wade taking that shot. And one thing that I will say is that if you have 3 guys sucked in down there, you're gonna have you're going to have long offensive rebounds on a 3-point shot. So you have 3 guys below the free throw line here. That gives the Cavs a good chance of actually getting that. So I think that is like, we're talking about the spacing. That is good spacing for an offensive rebound, even though it doesn't conceptually feel that way when you have 3 guys by the basket from the other team.
Yeah, I agree. It's the thing you see the Celtics do. They'll send guys up to the free throw line, try and get those long rebounds. But that's going to do it for this episode. So if you guys enjoyed this film breakdown, it's something that we want to try and do throughout the season. I just realized I'm doing like the Superman Lex Luthor speech with the sun coming in the background here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this low quality video. Make sure you subscribe, drop a like, leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time. Go Cavs.
I agree. Go Cavs.